Hello and welcome to I-24 News Sports Weekend Edition with some of the best stories we had in our magazine this past week. We begin with the big news from French football. They do not come from the pitch but from the court. Brandao, the perpetrator of the famous headbutt incident in the beginning of the season, is going to jail. Is it too harsh or maybe the right way to fight against violence in football? Lise Barnbaum and Michael Friedman with a story making major headlines in France and abroad.
Is Brandao a scapegoat? This is the question many are asking after Brandao's 1-month prison sentence. Yes, he did headbutt Thiago Motta after the game between Bastia and PSG, an ugly incident indeed, but one that is not so uncommon in the football grounds, and yet he is the first one who will go to jail for that.
On a certainement voulu faire un exemple.
We currently wanted to make an example. The court was trying to explain that we can accept violence inside stadiums, which seemed to be unfair. We have to differentiate between all the various acts of violence that can happen in a stadium and what Brandao had done.
Among the most famous, Zinedine Zidane will always be remembered for the 2006 World Cup final. The French playmaker lunged into the chest of the Italian Marco Materazzi, who insulted the Frenchman's sister. Zizou received a red card in the last game of his international career, a move that has been immortalized by the sculptor Adel Abdessemed and presented to the Georges Pompidou Center in Paris. But aggression does not always relate to rivals. At the last World Cup in Brazil, two Cameroon teammates, Benoit Assou-Ekotto and Benjamin Mukanjo, were seen fighting on the pitch. In the group stage facing Croatia, the defender went to his partner and struck him, an argument that continues in the locker room despite the mediation by Samuel Eto'o. Pepe has also been seen as the wild beast of Portugal. Angered by a catastrophic early game against Germany and a dive by Thomas Müller, he attacked the German player and was punished by a red card. But players are not the only ones to lose control. This year, Newcastle manager Alan Pardew attacked the player from Hull City, David Mailer, but Pardew only received a 7-game suspension. Brandao's lawyer feels that this punishment is extremely unfair when compared with all these previous incidents.
If we take a look at all the previous judgments in these types of cases, we can come to the conclusion that the fact that he is a football player made his judgment harsher. What has led to this decision? I think it is the media judiciary, which has been from the beginning in the past few months.
Violence is not new in the world of football. In the opening match of Euro '84, Manuel Amoros was upset by a tackle by Jesper Olsen and reacted badly. He too was the perpetrator of a headbutt which resulted in an expulsion and 3-match suspension. But Brandao has continued the tradition of some of his illustrious predecessors. He is paying the highest price today, which may discourage other players in following in his example.
Cristiano Ronaldo, Leo Messi, and someone else. This has been the lineup of Ballon d'Or final candidates in the past few years, and 2014 is no exception. The final 3 candidates were announced this week, so will it be the Portuguese superstar for the 2nd time in a row, the Argentine master who won it so many times before, or is it time for someone else, German goalkeeper Manuel Neuer? Michael Friedman and Benjamin Alvarez with a profile of the final 3 candidates.
The FIFA Ballon d'Or is one of the most desired awards in football as it holds prestige and fame for the recipient. As the 23-man shortlist was cut to 3 players, your vote matters come January. So who is your favorite to win? Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, or Manuel Neuer? Ronaldo, who won the crown last year, will be seeking the consecutive trophy. The Portuguese forward helped Real Madrid end their hunt for an elusive 10th Champions League crown, starring as they thrashed Bayern Munich in the semi-finals before notching a late penalty against Atletico Madrid in the final. Ronaldo has also made a stunning start to the current campaign for Real. Next, there's Lionel Messi, who has won the coveted award 4 times and has had another fantastic year in football. Messi has been on the shortlist every year since 2007. The Argentine has been a key player for both Barcelona and his country, leading them to the World Cup final. He won the Golden Ball in Brazil, broke the all-time Spanish goal-scoring record, and eclipsed Raúl to become the all-time goal scorer in the Champions League. but it was the German team that took the World Cup title thanks to star goalkeeper Manuel Neuer. The talented keeper made a string of impressive displays en route to Germany, winning the World Cup. His famed sweeper-keeper role was most evident during the thrilling last 16 victory over Algeria, where he had 21 touches outside his penalty area. The Bayern Munich star is the first goalkeeper to make the shortlist since Gianluigi Buffon in 2006. Cristiano Ronaldo continued his record of scoring more goals than most self-respecting football clubs. Lionel Messi became the top scorer in the history of La Liga and the European Cup, and Manuel Neuer won the World Cup. They all deserve as many awards as FIFA want to throw at them, but which of these three players should win the Ballon d'Or for 2014? Real Madrid's Ronaldo, Barcelona's Messi, or Bayern Munich's Manuel Neuer?
And with me in the studio is football analyst Yoav Borovic. Hi, Yoav.
Hi, Jonathan.
We're looking at the three candidates. Looks like Cristiano Ronaldo is like the big favorite. Champions League, Spanish Cup. Do you agree he is the man that seems to be on top?
I think that it's not as clear-cut as it was a year ago when Cristiano Ronaldo won after 4 wins in a row of Leo Messi. It was obvious that Cristiano had the best year. This year, you're looking at Cristiano. He's the European champion, but he didn't win the Spanish championship, and also he did not perform well in the World Cup. On the other hand, you have Messi, who did not win in Spain, did not win in Europe, advanced to the final of the World Cup, received for some bizarre reason the player of the World Cup, but we know he wasn't that great. And as a third competitor, we have Manuel Neuer. And I think, maybe we should think out of the box this year.
You mentioned Ronaldo first. Yes, European champion, La Decima, the very important one. And yet he won in 6 years in Real Madrid, 1 championship. In Real Madrid standards, that's a failure. Although it's Cristiano Ronaldo, we see what he does this year.
It is, yeah. If you're looking just at the championships, 1 out of 6, of course, it's a failure, but he broke scoring records for Real Madrid. The guy doesn't stop scoring, doesn't stop playing great. They have a lot of other good players as well. And Cristiano is not really the team player. He's a huge soloist. He's just an amazing player. He doesn't make the other players alongside him better. Messi is a bit more of a team player. I think it's an interesting call between those two, but I would look into Manuel Neuer, the man who won again a championship in Germany and then won the World Cup. A year before, he won the European Championship. This guy is being steady. The last 2-3 years, the best goalkeeper in the world, and I think we should maybe give him the biggest award.
You mentioned goalkeepers. The last goalkeeper to win a Player of the Year award was Lev Yashin, 1963. 50 years, a goalkeeper not won. And we had great goalkeepers in this time. There's Dino Zoff, there's Buffon, there's Casillas. There were big goalkeepers. Neuer is the candidate. Is he so big that we'll remember him as big as Lev Yashin, someone who changed the game?
I don't know about changing the game, although this goalkeeper, really has a great game with his feet. He really has a very good control of the ball. I think he might be the best goalkeeper in the last decade. And we had some great goalkeepers. We're talking Casillas, Buffon, Petr Cech, really good goalies. I think Neuer is even better than those guys. He's definitely a historic goalkeeper. And the fact that the goalkeeper didn't get this award for 50 years, it's really some kind of a disgrace, because we know that goalkeeper is such a vital role in the game of football.
Maybe it shows how a bit of superficial we are as fans. We want to see those goal-scoring stars again and again.
Yes.
But goalkeepers, if they make a mistake, they can't make a mistake as opposed to every other player on the field.
Exactly. And Manuel Neuer doesn't make many mistakes. And he's playing against the best strikers in the world, and the guy overmatches them. He's so good. This year, I wouldn't go with Cristiano, and I would definitely not go with Messi. I would go with Manuel Neuer and make a statement by choosing him.
January 12th, just over a month, FIFA dignitaries, maybe they hear you. We'll see what they do. Now to our next item. One thing's common to these three players and to many other top players, and it's the fact that they're active not only on the football pitch, they all have millions of followers on Facebook, Twitter, and every other form of social media. Lise Barenbaum and Daniel Ziri take a look at this world where a like is sometimes more important than a goal.
Football football is a global phenomenon, and as such, the research for new markets and followers never stops. It doesn't end with the action on the pitch. Some of the biggest clashes now are taking place in the world of social media. On Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, there is a constant fight for likes and followers. At the top of the podium stands Mr. CR7. Cristiano Ronaldo and his 100 million fans on Facebook is the undisputed champion.
Finally, I achieved 100 million fans on Facebook.
After years of being in the shadow of Leo Messi, he beats his Argentinian rival, who has only 75 million fans, and his Barcelona teammate Neymar is way behind with 48 million. As far as clubs go, PSG is the undisputed champion of France with its 14 million fans, but remains way behind other European top guns. Barcelona is way ahead of everybody with 77 million fans. Manchester United is behind with 60 million. Do the internet rankings reflect the sporting reality? Not really. Leo Messi has 3 Ballon d'Or wins, ahead of Ronaldo, who just won once. Atletico Madrid may have won the Spanish championship last season, but they are way behind when the World Wide Web is concerned. They only have 8.7 million fans on Facebook. Bayern Munich is seen by many as the best team in Europe these days. Despite that, they only have 22 million followers on Facebook, just over a third of the number of people who follow Manchester United, which is only 4th in the Premier League and doesn't even play in European competitions this year. United is also behind Premier League champions and city rivals Man City with their 44 million followers. The big teams already know that these days presence on social media means money. Players have become media products and they want to look as good on the web as they do on the pitch. It also works the other way around. When Samir Nasri's girlfriend published some negative comments on Didier Deschamps on social media, the French manager was quick to react.
Il a beaucoup de qualités.
He has many qualities, but his performances for France do not match his performances at Manchester City. It seems to be very important for him there, but not so much here. In France, it is not the case.
Having said all that, we have to remember football is still played on the pitch, and a like on Facebook or followers on Twitter does not guarantee success in sport.
And Yoav, I would suppose Cristiano Ronaldo and Leo Messi do not write every status or approve every friend, but they're PR people. They understand how important this tool is.
It's crucial. It's part of the game today. You know, maybe you and I do not follow all those players, Twitter, Facebook, but a lot of young people do. A lot of worldwide. We see Manchester United with more than 60, 70 million followers
That's
worldwide.
That's a team not doing so good the past 2 years.
Yes, so exactly. You know, it very easily translates to money, translates to merchandise, just exposure. As you said, PR people do this job for the players. I don't think the players are really running it. But, you know, we see some very interesting cases sometimes on Twitter. Remember a few months ago, the war in Gaza. Joey Barton, the midfielder of QPR, was really critical of Israel and killing children in the world of Gaza. And Benayoun answered and he said, Joey, my friend, you're never a smart man. You're always stupid. And they really started these, you know, those two people who said they were friends really started like a dirty war of words on Twitter about the war in Gaza. So some of those players really put their opinions. You know, we know with Rio Ferdinand, he was like, you know, he was like the first guy to really do it. You know, now he does it less because people also understand, the players understand how dangerous it could be. We saw in the story, you know, with Samir Nasri's girlfriend criticizing Didier Deschamps.
Knew where this would lead.
And Didier Deschamps answers, you know, this is unthinkable a few years ago. A coach would, you know, on the computer, a girlfriend of a player. But today it's really part of the game, especially for the young generation. It's just going to be bigger.
Because if you want to attract younger generations, okay, we are gone. We already love football. But if you want to attract 9-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds, they're on Facebook, they're on Twitter. That's your arena.
That's your arena. You know, unfortunately, those kids are on Facebook and Twitter.
Much more than they are in real life.
And on computer games, they don't go to the streets and play the ball game, you know? That's why I think we see less technical, talented players today, because kids worldwide play the game less, and they're on the computer and on the social networks. So it has a downside, you know, but for the players, the established stars today, they just see it just as a tool, as a platform for making more money.
And if we look at the teams, as you've mentioned, Manchester United, we see the tradition of a team. They have 20 more followers than Manchester City, English champions, and they're not doing so good. That's their strength, their tradition.
Exactly, and for the city, for the people who run City, they look at this number and they say, we're beating Manchester United on the pitch. We are the champions. We won 2 championships out of 3. How do they have 20 million more followers? So for them, they will now do everything they can do to get more followers, because this is another front. This is another game. And all teams want to win. You know, we know Barcelona, we know the popularity of Leo Messi worldwide, and it translates into those numbers in Facebook.
Very interesting indeed. Yoav Borovic, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you.
And that's it for this weekend edition. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.